If you thought the Democrats were having a bad week, think again. They're having a full blown political apocalypse. Honestly, it's like watching a toilet full of woke policies, lies, and failed leadership overflow all over the floor. Except instead of grabbing a mop, they just keep flushing. And just when they thought they could crawl out of the mess, Trump came in, kicked the door down, and dropped a truth bomb. Biden's little Autopen pardons. Yeah, he says they're void, gone, null, they're done. And the left is losing its collective mind. We're going to talk about all of that and more next.
Be leaders ourselves.
Black women are being used by the Democrat Party.
All of these socioeconomic indicators are in the negative, particularly for black people.
They want mob rule. When Trump was in office, please somebody tell me what act of dictatorship did he perform?
She had Donald Trump's hair on top of her head. And she's sitting here talking about brown girl this, brown girl that.
Because she's a black woman.
They would ask her how to spell her first name and clap like sea monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
What's up, everybody? It is Monday. This is our Monday Night Live, and it is time for Pop and Politics. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-host. Of course, back with us as every Monday, we have Soldiers of Finance here. Tyrone Keys from the Soldiers of Finance YouTube channel. You can find him there on YouTube. And we have Shelly E. All right. Nicole is out, folks. She is on vacay. She is spending some time in the Gulf of America. So we can't wait to hear about her travels and her time away when she comes back. She should be back by the end of the week, early next week. All right. So before we dive in, do me a favor, tap that thumbs up and subscribe. We're on YouTube and Rumble. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. We shout out all of our super chats, so it's the best way to get your voice heard in the conversation and to show your love for conservative content. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us and subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, let's set it off. Folks, as you can see, I'm wearing one of our new sweatshirts here. Finally, it came in. This is what we're actually all about here on the channel. You guys know it's not black, not white. We are Americans. This is the community that we are building. Not black, not white. We're Americans. Do not let them divide us. So you can get your merch right here. You can get this slogan in a t-shirt. You can get it in this sweatshirt, and you get it black, white, gray. Comes in a ton of colors. Shelly has the black one. So, yeah, definitely it's a great way to, unite us. What were you saying, Shelly?
Y'all know I'm partial to black.
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. All right. And we have some super chatters already, folks. Thank you all so much. Want to shout you out. We have Red Bucks with the $5 super. Thank you. First super of the night. And Kung Fu CJ. What's up, Kung Fu CJ? Says, hello, Pop family. All right, you guys know we actually had our call-in show Friday night. Was it Friday, Shelly?
Mm-hmm. Friday.
And we got to meet so many of you, and we got to meet Kung Fu CJ. He was amazing, awesome. So definitely it was nice doing that, and we'll do that again soon. All right, so how are you all doing? Before we get into all this, how are you doing, Tyrone? It's good to see you tonight.
You too, Shelly. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good. All right, Shelly, good to see you, as always.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. All right. See, we already have some comments. Mary says, love the hoodie. You ladies are great. Patriots love listening. God bless. God bless you, Mary. And again, you can go to our website at popandpoliticslive.com to get this shirt, this sweatshirt, and many more. And it's a great way to support us, conservative content. So we appreciate you all. So speaking of that, let's get into this. So MSNBC went off the rails recently. I think it was actually Saturday night. Saturday's edition of MSNBC's The Weekend, absolutely, they tore into Chuck Schumer for orchestrating the support of a sufficient number of his fellow Democrat senators to support the continuing resolution and avoid a government shutdown. Folks, they are pissed. Take a look. This is clip one.
Republicans thinking right now about their ability to absolutely punk Schumer into making this move the way he did when he knew that that's not where his party was?
Look, I think that, the reality here is there was no message, no strategy, and at the end of the day, no leadership. And this is really a black mark, I think, on Chuck Schumer. And I think this is a real black mark, a stain on Chuck Schumer's leadership.
Yep.
And I'm pissed.
Yep.
Okay, so, there's actually little that the Senate minority leader can say, and the 10 Democrats that voted with the Republicans can say, to appease somebody like me. I'm about to change my registration to independent. There's not another option for Senate or Democratic or Senate Democrats or House Democrats to effectively push back. This was it. They blew it. The Democratic Tea Party was born the same day that Chuck Schumer took to that podium to read that very well-crafted statement that told us he folded like a paper napkin.
Well, and that's why you have members of the Democratic caucus privately encouraging Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to primary Schumer.
Anyone can primary him.
So on that point, which was very well stated, I might add.
Well, I think this is an absolute disaster. One, because of what it signals to Republicans, that there's a willingness to cave, that there's a desire to cave when you're not getting anything out of it.
Wow. All right, Shelly, what do you think about that? What's going? They are imploding.
Let me tell you what I think about that. They are like this egg. You crack it, and then you have to scramble it. That's what their brains and minds are doing. They're all scrambled right now. And I know eggs are a little bit pricey, so I'm wasting one on these jokers tonight. But that's what they feel like. They feel like they're all over the place. Remember what, two or 4 years ago during the midterms when Republicans outside, we were all over the place because we didn't win the midterms like we thought we had or we thought we would. And we had to kind of
Oh, she froze. So we'll get back to Shelly.
We expanded the tent, if you will. With President Trump. This administration is proof that we got our act together enough to win the White House, the Senate, the House, and all of these, these cabinet nominations that are in place now. So they are feeling scrambled. I know how it feels, but you need to get your act together or you're still going to be fried. And that's what they're doing right now. They're trying to do it.
Yeah, Tyrone. What do you think about what we've seen going on here within the Democrat Party, and especially in regards to the CR?
The Democrat Party is evolving into two different parties. Now, I thought that what was going to happen was the more moderate was going to assert itself and take over, but it seems like the opposite is happening. It seems like the more left-leaning fringe, well, I guess they're not fringe anymore, part of the Democrat Party they're becoming dominant. And what we're going to be left with is great for conservatives because it's going to be this Looney Tune party that's not talking about anything serious, that rejects every beneficial policy for the American people and actually fights tooth and nail to let men participate in women's spaces, to give taxpayer money away to foreign countries, to coddle criminals, and to have wide open borders with criminals from other countries just imported here running rampant. That is their new brand. So I say more power to them. In fact, I go even further and I say AOC Crockett 2028.
Yes, yes. Bring it on, because we know that the far leaning left portion of the Democrat Party is the portion that was overwhelmingly rejected in this election. So if this is the way they're going, if this is what they want to do, let it come, bring it. But one thing I want to respond to is we're seeing them implode, yet they went a whole 4 years and had a president, that they have elected that was like a weekend at Bernie's. He was a shell of a person. He could barely speak. He could barely walk. He could barely talk. That didn't get them upset, but now they're upset with what Chuck Schumer's doing. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah. They're also upset because these polls that have come out over the weekend, I think the main one was the CNN poll that showed their favorability is at an all-time low, the Democratic Party. Not only that, the Republicans' favorability has increased, but they don't know what to do right now. Again, it's almost like going around in circles. You know how I think in the Bible, I want to say the story when they went around the wall and they confused the enemy. This is what they're feeling right now. This is exactly, and Kenzie 14 said it for me. Thank you. When the left is apoplectic, I am ecstatic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And speaking of that poll, we have a clip here of them talking about that CNN poll. That is clip number 4. Take a look.
Including his first term and including Biden's term. This is the lowest it's ever been.
I think
there it is. Thank you.
It's the markets that are causing people to have some uncertainty. However, there are other signs. Gas is down. Eggs are down. Inflation markers are down. There's some evidence that people are responding to the tariffs and opening up manufacturing investment in the United States. So
you should tell that to the senators that are asking the president to reverse course right now, because they're freaking out completely because they're reading those local headlines. Headline after headline
I'm sorry. You have a 29% approval rating. Your
but it's fine
credibility on this
because
is so limited.
we're not in charge.
So the point
we've got plenty of time to switch up leadership. But
the point is Trump is trying to make a long-term structural change to the economy. He's asked people to give him some time. We'll see if they do it.
Yeah. Tyrone, so I want to get you in on that last comment Scott Jennings made, that Trump is trying to make a long-term restructuring of the economy. Is that true, and how is that being done?
That's absolutely true, and that is why he's doing things like these tariffs up front. That's why he talked about the fact that we may have a recession here up front. He wants to get that out of the way long before the midterms, so that America can see the results of decreasing income taxation. We're drawing a bright line between conservatives and the Democrats. Wes Moore, right here in the state of Maryland, the governor of Maryland, Marylanders are already taxed on average 37% of their income when you combine state and federal taxation. Wes Moore doesn't care. He wants more. His namesake. Trump is saying, no, I want to transfer that burden for the cost of government away from the tax-paying citizen and make these foreign countries pick up more of it if they want to do business with us. So it's going to have a short-term hiccups, but we already see inflation moderating, okay? You don't hear them talking about the price of eggs anymore, right? Because that price point has plummeted due to bird flu abating. So yes, I think Trump is prosecuting a very effective strategy here that's going to bear fruit in the long term. And I'll say this. So there's this one proposal out there to eliminate income taxation on those making $150,000 or less in income, right? You got that. no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security benefits. If he can get any portion of any of those through, we'll never reverse, because there'll never be a politician that's going to risk his or her career in saying we want to go back to taxing those things. So what he's doing is putting stuff in place for the long term.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you brought up a good point, because as we see, he is talking about lessening the tax burden on us, on Americans. We're seeing that, as you mentioned, Democrat governors and mayors across the country are pushing more taxes and more fees. Right. In Chicago, Mayor Johnson just talked about increasing to make up for their budget shortfalls. They've talked about increasing fees via speed cameras and parking enforcement. Same thing here in Maryland. They talked to the governor and the mayor. The mayor just came out with some type of standalone 2% city sales tax proposal for Baltimore. Have you guys heard about that?
I have heard of that. Yep. And it's a shame that Democrat politicians apparently have no financial acumen whatsoever. Because what he's going to do if he gets that 2% sales tax increase for Baltimore is he's going to drive business into the counties, and for those who cannot leave because they don't have transportation or in the inner city, they are going to be the subject of higher taxation. Poor people are going to take the brunt of it. So Democrats are just outrageous, and they will take every dime you have. They're thieves. They'll take everything that's not nailed down. People need to start realizing that.
And look,
they want to leave us in nothing but our underwear, and they would take that too if it wasn't used.
Look, to Tyrone's point, KJ, your question. In the Epic Times today, I think it was Jeffrey Tucker. He wrote an article, and this is one quote from one of his paragraphs, one of the article. He said, the best thing the Trump administration has said since taking power is to admit that there could be tough times ahead. And I'm moving down to the last sentence. We have not heard of such an admission since 1981, since Ronald Reagan was in office. I added that part. Since those days, every president, quote, and every Fed chairman has essentially fibbed in telling the people that there is no problem that they can't fix with the money printers. It was never true. So these tough days ahead, this is what, again, this is talk. It's been kicking the can down for decades. And from our Social Security to Medicare, Medicaid, any other spending program project that our Congress and legislators, and our federal government by large comes up with. This kicking the can down, it's coming home to roost. So Americans, we, number one, it's our money, number one. Number two, I want mine back. Okay, I want every tax cut, every excessive bloated program cut. I do. So that's just me. Number three, the government is not supposed to just take care of us, not the majority of the country, nowhere by far, maybe a small few or percentage that really need the help. Other than that, get out of our lives. Stop lying to us. We have been kicking this can down. There's nowhere else for the can to go. We now have to collect all of these cans, right? Collect all these cans, hunker down a little bit. We might have a little bit of tough time, yes. But for the long term, 99.9% of us will be in a better position. The stock market today went back up. Went back. Last week, many of us didn't even want to look at it, right? But today, it went back up. I'm not saying it will always stay up. Of course, it's going to go up and down. But we need to hunker down. And again, Tyrone, you probably talked about this. I'm sorry. We need to start saving a little bit more. Anything saving. And I'm talking about tangible cash. We need to start saving that a little bit more. Maybe we need to, I'm talking myself, maybe I need to cut back on a pair of shoes, whatever. But we need to hunker down. We will have some rough times. It's going to be a little up and down for a while, but long term, it's our money. I want more of mine.
Yeah, we have a super chatter here, Kung Fu CJ. with the $2 super chat says KJ and property tax. Yes, he's referring to what's going on here in Maryland. And you know what's crazy about all of this in Democrat cities, in Democrat states, is, as you mentioned, Tyrone, they want to tax us out the wazoo, and the people that get the brunt of that tax burden are those that cannot leave, don't have transportation, can't leave and go maneuver in and out of the city. But to make matters worse is then they are trying to implement policies that take away our cars. They want to make these cities walkable, and they push these policies that penalize you if you have a car, if you have transportation, and if it's gas powered, it's even worse. So this is what we're talking about, and it's not just affecting us here in liberal cities. These policies are what, if they get in power nationally, they are trying to implement across the country, folks. So this is why it's important to hear us out when we're talking about this. Even if you're living in a red state or you're living in a rural area that's governed or led by someone on the right, you better heed this stuff, because if they get in power, you know, in 2028, or if they get control of the Congress, we're in big trouble.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we are at a point where, you know, we cannot let these people win another election as that Democrat Party is currently constituted, because they are nothing but Marxist thieves. And they're also showing that, they'll promote violence if they don't get their way. I mean, you got Congress people like Maxine Waters out there promoting violence. And she's so cowardly that she would deny it, but we have her own words to convict her. So these are dangerous people, the likes of which you've seen before in the early times of the Soviet Union, in Cambodia with Pol Pot. That's who they are. They might be dressed up a little bit better and sitting in $1 million studios, but that is exactly who they are. And they cannot win another election. Otherwise, they will take this whole country down with them. Absolutely. They hate this country.
They hate
and
it.
You're right about the violence, folks. Have you all been following all of these conservatives who have been swatted? Just today, I believe, or yesterday, Nick Sorter, he is a reporter, a grassroots reporter. He was swatted and his family were swatted. And if you don't know what that is, it's when someone calls says that you have some type of violence going on in the house, and they send a SWAT team to knock down the door and everything. And so this is something that a lot on the left are using. They're sending these SWAT teams to conservatives' houses to ruin their whole home. Yeah. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, I've been hearing about it.
There was a guy, a popular YouTuber, who was swatted, and they recently convicted the person that did it. And he is serving time now in a federal prison. And I'm going to tell you right now, he's not in Club Fed, so he's probably going to have the full prison experience because he looks like a computer nerd, not a member of the Black Gorilla family. So he deserves it, okay? Yeah. Because this puts people's lives at danger. And I would call on Kash Patel and Pam Bondi to really go after these people with a vengeance.
Absolutely.
Because it didn't involve a YouTuber, but there was a incident of swatting years ago where an innocent man died. So this is, in my book, attempted murder when it's done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We have some super chatters here. Kung Fu CJ with the $2 super chat says, "Get him, Shelly." All right. And we have another here, Bakel Tekalu with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys. Keep those super chats coming. The chat is on fire tonight. I see your comments. Some people are asking about the pen. We're talking about that. We are going to get to the what is the robot pen or what?
Autopen.
Yeah, the Autopen. We're going to talk about that. We got a lot to get to tonight. So yes, just please stay tuned and hit that like button and subscribe if you have not subscribed already. I do want to also point out this next poll. 1 in 6 Democrats say their party is too extreme. Take a look here. This is clip 5.
Republicans at the table. What do you see as the dynamic going on here? Is it generational? Why are Jeffries and Schumer on such different pages?
Well, because first of all, I just want to say I'm grateful for Chuck Schumer today. He helped defeat a racist Jim Crow filibuster in the Senate, and to stand up against the racist Jim Crow filibuster tactics was a moment of pure courage, and I just think he should be lauded by anybody in any party for that. That's number one. Number two.
It's a deep cut. Let me just explain for people at home.
I'm just saying.
When there was a Democratic push against the filibuster, people in the Democratic Party were saying it was a racist era, Jim Crow era
and it was
tactic, the filibuster. So he's being cheeky.
And
all right, back to
not only that, but he saved us from the Democrats in the House, laying off every single veteran in the federal government. Chuck Schumer, working with Donald Trump, saved us from that. So I think he deserves a lot of credit this morning.
Scott,
every veteran would have been laid off. Every veteran would have been laid off.
Scott's having a lot of fun at the Democrats' disarray. And I tell you what, as Republicans this week, we have overdosed on popcorn watching this Democrat civil war. But if you look at CNN's poll out this morning, I think the big number to look at, 16% of Democrats, that's 1 in 6, say their party is too extreme. That's the voice Democrats should be listening to, and the one Hakeem Jeffries should be listening to right now. The far left is going to crash.
Yes. I am the same way, and I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so giddy, but like he said, we're overdosing on popcorn. I got popcorn coming out of my ears. It's coming out of in the stool. I am eating so much popcorn, watching all of this chaos within the Democrat Party, and not so much so that I'm just happy that they are, in disarray. But they're so many of them are anti-American that it's good that they're losing. Shelley,
I'm happy about it. I'm just happy that they are. I don't care. I'm just happy that they are, because again, they don't know their head from their tails many times and the chaos that they cause. So maybe this will give them some reason to pause or whatever. I don't know, but I want to use this one thing to challenge our audience, right? We were talking about the cars and how they're trying to make these 15-minute cities or whatever. I will admit, I try my best to knock down those little plastic cones in the streets that take up the lanes or whatever. So if you out there in our audience, if you do the same thing, go to our page and buy a shirt. Just support us and just let us know that you do that too. And if you don't, I want you to start. I knock them down every chance I get, those little plastic cones, because they shouldn't even be there. So I'm just letting you know, that's my challenge to you. Show us your support by going to our website, Poppin' Politics Live, and letting us know that you will knock them down too.
Yeah, yep, perfect. And Tyrone, so what do you think? I mean, we are seeing this meltdown within the Democrat Party. Many on the left are disenfranchised. They are upset with what is going on within the party. What do you think should be the Republican response to all of this? How do we win some of them over if we can?
Well, I think that if you look at the poll numbers for moderates, some of that is bleeding over to Republicans. Other than that, I think we should just keep doing what we're doing, which is paying attention to making America great again, making America healthy again, making America secure again, financially and otherwise. Just keep on working because it's a really good contrast. You got work and results versus a whole bunch of emotionalism, more estrogen coming from the men on the Democrat side than the women. So just keep on working. That's what we should do.
All right. Yep. Folks, if this breakdown opened your eyes or fired you up, do us a favor. Hit that like button, like this video so more people see the truth. Share it with your friends who need to hear this stuff, and subscribe so you never miss a dose of us. Bold, unapologetic commentary. So again, we're going to change gears, we're still talking about the Democrats melting down, but we're going to focus on The View. So The View recently put out a video, and even they are even becoming upset with the Democrat Party. Take a look at this. This is clip 13.
We should note, again, and you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, I want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong.
I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
Governor, you got a second?
Literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your heart? Because I don't believe it.
This is why independent media is so important. Thanks to people like you, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called them out for their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with our dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote with your dollars. Support Made in America. Back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click Yes, I Want to Make the Switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to take on everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making this one small yet powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com. Click the link and schedule a call with our team to learn how you can make the switch. Together, we can create real change.
What's up, guys? This is Giovanni, co-founder of Metro Conservative Media. We are the definitive home for the urban conservative. You think you got what it takes? Go to metroconservativemedia.com and click Join the Movement now.
This was a fight that needed to happen, and it didn't happen because of Chuck Schumer. If you think about it, Republicans would have had to own that government shutdown. It's what they have control of everything, and it would have been squarely on their backs. And I am not alone in this opinion. Nancy Pelosi, of all people, actually went so far as to say, let's be clear, neither is a good option for the American people, but this false choice that some are buying instead of fighting is unacceptable. Someone else, Ana Cabrera, the chief of staff for Illinois Governor Pritzker, who we had here, argued that the party could unify around a fight against Trump. The fight going on in the Democratic Party right now is not between the hard left, the left and moderate. It's between those who want to fight and those who want to cave. I want a party that doesn't want to cave. I want a party that's an opposition party, because what Schumer just did is he cleared the way for Donald Trump and Elon Musk to gut Social Security, to cut Medicare, to cut Medicaid. That is unacceptable, and it's past time for Democrats to fight and stop acting like it's business as usual and fighting by the rules, because the rule book has been thrown out by the Republican Party, and that is just the truth.
Okay, so Shelley, what's your response to this? And when they say they want to fight, they mean they want to just lie. They're just going to lie.
Yeah, this former federal fuck up is fucked up right now. That's what she feels. She feels fucked up right now. So that's consistent. Look, first of all, it's amazing to me. They only can, quote unquote, win is if they sabotage Trump. They can't win on their own merits and their own policies, because newsflash, most of the country is pretty much in the middle, give or take, maybe center right, center left, but most of the country operates in the middle of the polemic. So the only way they can win is if they sabotage Trump. They didn't win with Kamala Harris. They certainly didn't win with Biden. They didn't didn't win the election, and now they didn't win this this plan that they had to make it stick to Trump or this government shutdown. They cannot win on their own merits. They win by cheating, by chaos, causing confusion. That's what they do best. And again, I am ecstatic. I am so glad. I don't even care what the issue is, but in this case, I'm just ecstatic that they are all feeling fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. Tyrone, what did you think of that exchange? Now, again, you hear what, we've heard them say many times that President Trump is going to get rid of Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. What is your response to what she was saying?
It's funny because they are just outright lying. Because that's one of the criticisms that Trump has taken, is that he has said he's not touching those programs.
Right. And
people are like, well, that's where the biggest bang for your savings buck would come from. Trump is on record as saying he's not touching those. So they're out and out lying. And look, this is emblematic of how ridiculous the left is. You've got Whoopi Goldberg on a panel of people talking about politics. They should be like sharing like chocolate chip cookie recipes or telling you how to decorate the house for Thanksgiving or something. These people have no business talking. Here's the problem. It's like sports, right? So you sit down and a guy watches the NFL game on Sunday, and then he's going to tell the losing team everything they should. Now he's back at his job at the plant, okay? But he got all the answers. People believe that because they watch politics on TV and they hear from shrews like the jackals on The View, that they actually know something. They don't. Sonny can't even keep her own husband out of trouble, okay? Whoopi Goldberg, I mean, she's not even a funny comedian. The craziest thing she's ever done is convince Ted Danson to wear blackface to a damn Friars Club event, okay? And that dummy did it. So these are not serious people, but let them keep on. They're helping. They don't know it, but they're helping.
Yeah, and this is what they do. They continue to play to, this is why they're not being accepted. Because just like Michelle Obama did on her new podcast, they try to create this image of, or try to summon up images of, oh, I don't have any money and I'm poor and, I'm just like you all, So they spend 30 minutes talking about, is a hot dog a sandwich or, what was it, the other thing, sandwich or what? It was just stupid.
Yeah,
it was stupid. But this is what we used to share a bedroom, me and you. This is one thing people don't know about us, and this is what makes us special, is we shared a bedroom. Most people coming up shared a bedroom with their siblings if they didn't have money. I shared a bedroom with my siblings and my mother. Okay, I shared a 2-bedroom apartment. I slept with my mom when I was a teenager. Okay, does that make me special? No.
It qualifies you to be the first lady of the United States.
Exactly. The dumbest thing I've ever heard. But this is what they do. They try to, like, I guess, connect with common people on the strangest stuff. And it's not a commonality because they come off looking so fake.
Exactly.
So fake.
Exactly. They're trying to force it and then play the victim about it.
Right. All while they're taking our money.
Right.
They want that everything they advocate for is to keep us beholden to the government and poor. And poor. And, so it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And speaking of that, we had Ellen Pompeo. She is an actress. Now, folks, if you guys know her, she was the main actress on the show Grey's Anatomy, right? And she's been cuckoo for back then. She always been nutty. She's been really weird and nutty. Well, here they have her on The View this week. I believe it was today. Take a look at what she said. This is clip 12.
And I hope they look at themselves and ask themselves, we all should ask ourselves, why do we look at something and at face value make a judgment about it? I think we do that as human beings, and I think we all need a lot more empathy right now. And so I hope we take that away. I mean, why are old white men the only ones who are allowed to be felons? No one else can stay in this country if they're a felon.
What is she talking about?
I was hoping you were going to explain it. Seriously, I was hoping you were going to explain it because I have no idea. You know what? Again, I said a similar thing for these people, like what's his name, Robert De Niro. These people act well, and in their acting, you know, they're smart. They have great conversations. You know, they know their craft or their skill, but in real life, they are idiots.
Yeah,
they are idiots in real life.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrone, and I want you to comment on this, but speaking of De Niro, has anyone else lost all respect for him? I can't even watch him anymore in a movie. And his movies are probably some of my most favorite movies of all time. I can't even enjoy it now after he acted a pure fool during his Trump's candidacy.
There was some sci-fi related program that my wife and I were about to get into, and it came across the screen, Robert De Niro. We cut it right off. I don't want to, I mean, I know too much about him, and he's not a person that I would, you know, have any type of dealing with in real life. I think, and his politics are just really, I can disagree with you on politics, is fine. Right. I have good friends who are on the other side of the political spectrum, but they are thoughtful people. They're not overly emotional, okay? But that's not the bill that De Niro fits. He is, you know, very emotional. And then the other thing is this. I believe that some actors, especially if they're good actors and have played a lot of roles, I honestly think that at some point they get like a multiple personality disorder. That's an amalgam of some of the roles that they have played. Like you had Martin Sheen. He played the president on a series. It was a decent series, but it was a point where Martin Sheen thought his ass was the president of the United States. Okay. And I'm like, calm down, dude. You're an actor, right? So I think that it's a little bit of that. And the fact that when they get out here on their own, they don't have the writers to make whatever it is they're thinking sound good. So they come off as the insane people that they really are, you know?
Yeah, you're right. Folks, I see you guys are on fire in the chat. Thank you all so much. Again, if you want to join the conversation, your super chats are most appreciated. Also, we have our membership club here, the Freedom Seekers. You can join that as well. I see Laura says, I've never seen Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, it's old. It started out good, and then it just went all really woke and weird. So I stopped watching it. But yes, folks, thank you guys so much. Again, as we mentioned, the View is losing their minds. Democrats are imploding, and the mainstream media is falling apart. Don't let your friends stay blind. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel now so they can wake up while there's still time. Again, you can share this broadcast in a DM on your social media platforms. Let's wake people up together. Also, I wasn't going to respond to this, but there is a video going around on the internet about FBAs. I don't know if you all are familiar. We are all foundational Black Americans on this panel here. So, you know, there's something, see you guys in the chat talking about tethers and all of that kind of stuff. If not that it matters, because again, as you see my sweatshirt, it's not Black, not white. We're Americans. Don't let them divide us. Right. But just on the strength of just being factual, we are foundational Americans. We're not Caribbeans. People are saying that we're actually born and raised Baltimoreans, and our family are from America for generations. I think I could speak for you two as well. Is that right?
I was born here. I'm sick of these freeloading Black Americans. Yes, I say, I know they're going to cuss me out and they're going to call all kinds of names, but this is what they do. They can't have a civil conversation, right? We can't disagree, like Tyrone said. You can't disagree civilly. These are the types of people that will go on sites and start calling all kinds of bitches and musties and all kinds of stuff. It's hilarious. And these are mostly, I think, supposedly grown men.
Right.
Yeah, I don't give a damn. They're totally irrelevant. You can think I'm from wherever you want. That's how much you mean to me. So whatever, run with it. Waste your time.
All right, folks. So we're going to continue on this. We're going to change gears a little bit and talk about these pins. So Trump is not playing games. He just took a flamethrower to Biden's last-minute pardons. Some of those people could be back in the courtroom really soon. I'm paging Dr. Fauci. Courtroom is open. Take a look at this, talking about these Autopens. White House press secretary talked about it today in a presser. This is clip 10.
First on the president's post overnight, saying that the pardons that were issued by President Biden preemptively to members of the January 6th committee, that they're now null and void. Have attorneys here at the White House told President Trump that he has the legal authority to undo a pardon simply because it was signed by Autopen, as he said?
The president was begging the question that I think a lot of journalists in this room should be asking about whether or not the former president of the United States, who I think we can all finally agree was cognitively impaired. I know it took people some time to finally admit that, but we all know that to be true, as evidenced by his disastrous debate performance against President Trump during the campaign. I digress on that. But the president was raising the point that did the president even know about these pardons? Was his legal signature used without his consent or knowledge? And that's not just the president or me raising those questions, Caitlin. According to the New York Post, there are Biden officials from the previous White House who raised those questions and wondered if the president was even consulted about his legally binding signature being signed onto documents. And so I think it's a question that everybody in this room should be looking into, because certainly that would propose perhaps criminal or illegal behavior if staff members were signing the President of the United States autograph without his consent.
Biden is on the record talking about issuing preemptive pardons to these people.
But was he aware of his signature being used on every single pardon? That's a question you should ask the Biden White House.
Is there any evidence on that he wasn't aware of it?
You're a reporter. You should find out. Okay, Sean.
Yeah. Shelley, what do you think? Do you think these auto pens are going to be a major issue?
They certainly should be. They absolutely should be. This is definitely a case for some really, really serious investigative journalism to start connecting. This is what journalists are supposed to do, particularly when it comes in the realm of the government and how it affects the people. This man, the former President Biden, was senile, or I guess he still is, but senile, and by no fault of his own. I'm not saying that, but these people around him, whoever these people are, were supposedly, allegedly using his auto pen to stamp away whatever pet project they wanted to put forth and perpetuate. This is, again, I say it's nothing short of treason, allegedly. It needs to be investigated.
Yeah. What are you thinking about this, Tyrone?
Well, yeah, when you look at there's several comparisons when you look at it.
Yeah, we have a clip here. I don't know if we can play it while you discuss it.
Biden, but there is no point in his term that he was ever capable of this type of repetitive precision in anything, let alone in his own signature. So this is obviously something that needs to be investigated, because, the question we've been asking for the past 4 years, who was really the president? Who was making these decisions? And I'd like to go further and ask, who really had the nuclear codes at this point too? Who had that? So as far as the pardons are concerned, Nixon's pardon was preemptive because he hadn't been charged of anything. He hadn't been convicted of anything, but it was best for the nation. It was just allowed to stand. But now we need to really take a deep dive into this, and people need to be called up on Capitol Hill. You know, some people need to start to have to dip into their life savings to retain attorneys and go through the same type of inconvenience that many Americans, not just Trump, many Americans without deep pockets were subjected to because the Democrats wanted to engage in lawfare. So turnabout is fair play.
Yeah.
Let's reach into Liz Cheney's Halliburton pockets and see how far she can go. Okay. Let's start doing that.
Absolutely. I want to acknowledge a super chatter here. Nicole, she's in, I guess I told you guys she was away in the Gulf of America. Here she is with a $5 super chat. She says, hey, fam, wish you were here with me in the Gulf of America. Biden's pardon should be null and void. He did not sign them. All right. That's Nicole has said it. I agree too, Nicole. I agree with all of you guys. It should really be null and void. And just in case anybody is, still questioning what an Autopen is. So basically it's a device that we kind of showed what it does that replicates a person's signature using a mechanical arm or pen that traces a pre-recorded pattern. So again, this is what they're saying that Biden allegedly used to sign documents, particularly the pardons. So if that is the case, we don't know if he personally signed them or not. We don't know if he stamped his signature of approval on them. And we know that he was not fully aware of at least some of them because Speaker Johnson went on an interview and pretty much described how he was talking to Biden about one of the particular executive orders that he did, which he signed, apparently was signed with the Autopen, and Biden had no idea what he was talking about.
Right.
So
and look, it goes beyond pardons and executive orders. Did he sign legislation with that Autopen, or did someone sign actual bills that came out of Congress? Was there malfeasance there?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And look, to your point
here, before you get in, Shelley, we do have a super chatter here, folks. Thank you all so much. Let's see here. We have Win-Win says with a $5 super chat says, so happy I found this channel. Keep it up. Native Black Americans, let's work.
That's right.
Thank you.
Look, to your point, whether or not Biden was, he was senile. Robert Hur, I think his name was the attorney that interviewed him and said that. And remember, he was castigated by the Democratic Party, by the left. But he said that in official documents, which is why he recommended, I guess, not to prosecute him because he didn't think he understood what he was even talking about, right? So again, that could be debated, later, but that was in official documents. For me as well, this particular issue also highlights on a bigger level not just how corrupt the government is, that's kind of like the conclusion, but how many other unelected bureaucrats we have throughout every level of government. We have people who we elect, rightfully so, whether you agree with that person's policies or not, they are elected. But then we have this undercover or this deep state that are really running a lot of things in the government at every level. And why are people upset about this Trump administration uncovering all of this stuff? Whether it be financially, these backroom, deep state deals, whatever, some of these historical documents. Why would you be upset about that? Now, you might not like the conclusions or you might not like whatever's coming out, but why would you just be upset about having access to what it actually is?
Well, they're upset for a very specific reason, because this whole thing was a giant money laundering scheme, which we, the taxpayer, funded, and it would go into figuring out, if frogs got drunker off of tequila or rum. Seriously, okay? So you put out these grants for that, and then a portion of that would trickle back through political action committees on the left different campaign accounts. It was a big kickback scheme where we were the marks, basically. Okay, we're the store owners, and we own a little shop, and here comes the mafia saying that, hey, you got to pay us for protection. Protection against who? Against from us, okay? Because the IRS will kick your door in and take you off the jail, take everything you own. So we were being held under this rubric of intimidation, while our taxpayer money was going into this gigantic money laundering scheme, which only a portion has been uncovered so far. USAID was just a portion. Okay, exactly. That is why Elizabeth Warren is. Think about it. When she protests, this woman is almost moved to tears. Her voice is trembling. Okay, she's shaking because they see millions of dollars that are not going to be coming their way anymore.
Yeah, you're right. Folks, if Biden's Autopen presidency proves anything, it's this. Conspiracy theories are just tomorrow's headlines early. Look, they said the CIA wasn't in the media. Then we got Project Mockingbird, blew that up. They denied secret government experiments. We found out about MK Ultra, exposed the nightmares. They mocked surveillance fears. We got Snowden, proved Big Brother was real. They laughed at the lab leak theory. Now even the media can't cover it up. And guess what? The media was fooled. They were in on all of this. Always late with the truth, always loyal to the regime. And in this case, the Biden regime.
Yep.
So, this is what it is. We all, they used to call us conspiracy theorists. That's done. We're the truth seekers. Right. We're the truth tellers. Right. And this is why it's so important, folks, to share this broadcast, hit that like button. We want to push us and amplify our voices here on YouTube. These other MSNBC, CBS, Newsweek, they get millions of views on their videos. I don't know why, but it's all part of it. So that's why it really helps when you guys hit that like button and subscribe, because that amplifies our voice here. And we appreciate your support. All right. So I know some people were talking about foundational Black Americans in the chat. And so I want to turn to some comments made by Don Lemon. So Don Lemon crawled out of irrelevance long enough to sit with Bill Maher and say there's no such thing as a rational Black MAGA supporter. So yeah, because apparently being a free-thinking Black conservative doesn't compute in leftist fantasy land. Okay, here he is. This is clip 2.
It's the same thing that when I see not all Black Republicans, but I see a Black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water and they know that he's lying. It is the shortest line to the front. Because if you're Black and you're whatever, you're just in line with a bunch of other Democrats that are doing the same thing that you're doing. But if you become a Black MAGA person, it's like, whoa, let's book this person, let's put him on television.
So you don't think you can be a sincere Black MAGA person?
No, I just said, I don't think that. I just said I think there can be sincere Republicans,
but you can't be a sincere Black Republican.
I don't think that you can. I don't think that you can be a rational MAGA, be Black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be Black and be a Republican.
I think they would find that very insulting.
Well, I mean, the truth is often insulting.
Okay, so Shelley, are you a rational Black MAGA person?
Let me think about that. Well, let me start to answer this way. I don't think you can be a man getting screwed in your ass by another man. So, I mean, I don't know if that's rational or not. I don't know. So, nevertheless, I digress. Okay. This is another attack. Again, you can't have civil conversations. Don Lemon is still screwed, if you will. He's still screwed since he's had to leave CNN or wherever he was. So he hasn't really gotten his footing, because his footing is probably being sucked on by another man. Just sucking the toes. He didn't even make sense. He didn't even make sense. So, I I would say screw you, but that's already being done. So whatever.
Yeah. So Tyrone.
Last week, limbs were falling off. Anyway,
Tyrone.
Don Lemon, but I'm supposed to believe he's rational when he is a stalwart member of a party that enslaved people that look like him. Okay. He supported Joe Biden, the bigot who tried to resegregate the school system, and also created policies, drug and crime policies, that were not applied equally to his own son. Okay. But Don Lemon is rational, right? Well, I guess, look, he can have his opinion, fine, whatever. But as you started out, the guy's totally irrelevant. All right. He's got his little audience or whatever, but it's a whole lot of people whose opinion I would begin to respect way before we get to someone like Don Lemon.
Yeah. It's just we find, just as us being Black conservatives or Black people that are conservative, they hate us, man. When they see a MAGA, Make America Great Again, Black person, it drives them mad because their grift doesn't work. We are the direct opposite. We are a shining symbol that the grift doesn't work. Their play on emotionalism, their play on saying that Republicans and MAGA and people on the right are racist, which is their main grift. That's one of their number one grifts. They say, oh, damn, we can't use that one today. Right. There she goes with her not black, not white. Don't let them divide a sweatshirt with her MAGA hat. Damn, there she goes. Yep. The grift is, we got to find something else. So then they go in their bag of tricks and try to find some type of fear mongering or something else. But their number one grift, which is, racism, Black people are racism. This country is systemically racist. Black people can't walk down the street because we're going to get shot by police. All of that they can no longer say, or at least say it as energetically, because of the Black MAGA.
Yeah, you're right, KJ. Let me tell you what else has dawned on me about this Don Lemon. He's talking about Black MAGA cannot be rational. Let me tell you what else is not rational. A Black man being screwed by a white man, and you claim the white man is racist. Who's on top, Don? I mean, really? Who's on top? You're the same kind of person that wants to make white people the bane of existence. They're devils and they're racist, but yet you are literally being screwed by white massa. I mean, I'm glad I'm a runaway slave. I'm going to run far away from that. Thank you, Jamal Bryant. I mean, how rational is that? Tell me how rational that is. If you can explain how rational that is, then I would agree that there are no Black MAGAs who can be rational. If you explain that one too.
Yeah, he can't. Folks, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We're not playing around, folks. This poppin' politics, this is where you are. We are smart, edgy, and conservative. We at least tell you what you're getting before you sign over here. So you can't say we didn't tell you. You can't say we didn't tell you. But yeah, this is what it is, folks. This is what it is. And again, we are building a community here. We're building a community of like-minded people. As I said in the beginning of the show, we're God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. That's it. This is it. Yeah. Same with Soldiers of Finance, right here on YouTube. Right. This is what we get. Mm-hmm.
Real quick, this is some breaking news for the audience. Donald Trump has just stripped Hunter and Ashley Biden of Secret Service protection effective immediately. And this is why Hunter Biden is currently on vacation in South Africa. So I am sure he's looking for the next Spirit Airlines flight out of dangerous South Africa without his Secret Service protection.
Wow. So he just did it automatic. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he didn't deserve it. There is a law that says children of former presidents get the protection up until the age of 16.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I guess he probably needed it as he peddles secrets to these other countries, as he did many years ago. He's going around all over the world saying he knows this and he knows that, and he's very connected. You know, he has got the big guy, and no telling what secrets he's passed on, what secrets that Biden has either intentionally or unintentionally shared, and he's giving it away to the highest bidder. So, yeah, I'm glad they revoked it. I'm glad they revoked it. I wonder what his response is going to be about that. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, Tyrone. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I want to talk a little bit about DEI now. So you guys know it appears that DEI is on the decline now, but its high point of acceptance, as we all know, occurred after the George Floyd protest. So America was horrified at his murder and looking for answers. So we found out about anti-racism, which appeared to provide some of these answers. But of course, it went further than that. Then we started hearing about the problem, you know, that they said that it was an issue with ending whiteness, you know, complicit white supremacy, and it just went on from there. And so I want to ask you all on the panel, you know, with DEI being on its way out, should there be something to replace it? Do we need programs that help produce racial understanding and move us away from racial conflict and alienation and bring us closer together? Shelly, I want to get your thoughts on that.
No. And I'll say this. I'll say why. First of all, when we say a program that can move us to racial, we've tried them. Number one. Number two, anytime the government.
Oh, I think we lost Shelly. Tyrone, what are your thoughts? We'll get back to Shelly.
Well,
you don't even get whatever results they're trying to put forth. I don't know. We don't need programs. What we need are people to have understanding and education of how to, I guess, quote unquote, get along with other ethnicities. Remember, I don't even say races very rarely. I say ethnicities because I think there's only one race, the human race. All of this other stuff is confusion, and it builds and you know, supports confusion and more chaos. There's no other program that's going to do that except, number one, I would say some humility, some grace, and an education or understanding of just human nature. There's some people you just will never get along with for whatever reason. But we certainly don't need another government program. What are we going to replace it with? It will be another form of DEI or affirmative action.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this, Tyrone?
Yeah, it's incredible that you've got people out there in the Black community and people who say that they're advocates of the Black community, suggesting that Blacks cannot compete on merit. In fact, it's gotten so bad that DEI has sort of become synonymous with Black people, when the fact of the matter is white women are the greatest beneficiary of DEI programs. In fact, you got Robin DiAngelo out there, white woman who's running around all these corporations with these DEI programs telling white people that, you know, they're oppressors, Black people that they're oppressed. Okay, so it's time for that to come to an end and for us to get back to merit-based hiring, merit-based contracting. Listen, I always suggest this book, Black Fortunes. It talks about the first Black millionaires who also happened to be slaves. These people came out of slavery and built $1 million fortunes in the late 1800s, early 1900s, when $1 million meant something. Okay. So you're not going to convince me that they could do that coming out of their circumstances. And it is 2025. And we got everything from the internet to artificial intelligence and everything in between, a higher standard of living than this country has ever had. You can complain about the economic travails of Black people in this country all you want. Black people in this country, economically, we look like the wealthiest. We're among the wealthiest people on this planet. So time out for all of the wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth, and let's get back to merit.
Yeah. And, in particular, what I'm sort of getting to is the training portion of it. So yes, definitely about the quotas and we want to get back to merit-based programs in hiring and on whether it be corporate or whether it be in education. But there was a time before what we know, or as DEI, they used to have workplace diversity training focus or human resources sensitivity training. And, I remember back in the day, just working in corporate America, I did enjoy that. And so it wasn't about browbeating white people. It wasn't about calling Black people oppressed and victims of some type of systemic racism and things, which actually data show this type of browbeating has increased prejudice. But it was more so about equipping people with just recognizing there are differences among ethnicities, cultures, and things like that, and showing how to navigate, how to communicate with these different types of ethnicities and cultures.
I know there are programs like that, or in corporate America, they still have those kind of, we call them like annual competencies, things like that, cultural awareness. Fine, a corporation can do that. I don't want a government program trying to, fix it and wane it here. No, because that we get more of, like you said, we get more of the racism, if you will. We get more of all of that ignorance. We get that. But I would give you two, if you want to call them programs or whatever you want to call, two institutions in our society that have largely been successful, at least historically, in breaking down those cultural barriers and making that cultural awareness. The military. And it used to be college campuses, because once you went to college, you were exposed to people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, and you had to get along. And in college in particular, we were forced to work in groups, particularly as you go up to, like your junior, sophomore years in college and going beyond in grad school. Group work, you had to work with people. The military, you certainly had no choice. Right. So those were at least two institutions that historically have done a good job at that, just without necessarily regulating it, so to speak.
Yeah. And, I would even say that corporations can do what they want. Me personally, when I was in corporate America, I never gravitated toward those types of resources groups. I was there to work. And I was there to try to, advance my career. And, look, for my money, once 5 o'clock comes, you can go home and put on a dashiki. You can go home and put on a kilt if you want to. But when we're here during the workday, we're here for the mission of this company, needs of this business. And I don't give a damn if you're Black, white, gay, straight. As long as you can do the job and do it well, then let's come together, make that happen. And then we can go our separate ways at 5. Do what we want.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, speaking of these types of situations, whether you're in corporate, whether you're in high school, college, we want to move to actual middle school. I think this happened in middle school or high school. Actually, no, I want to go to this before we do that. This is Charlie Kirk on a college campus having an exchange with someone who claims that they were a victim of discrimination by MAGA Republicans. This is clip 11.
I was hate crime 5 times in one night, okay? 3 of them by Trump supporters.
What happened to you?
I was just walking, and then I see this truck full of 4 white men pass by me, MAGA apparel, everything, you know. They drove past me, and they were like, F you, bend over.
Okay, so they said the N-word on campus to you?
Well, yes.
Okay, so what happened to them when you reported them?
I didn't report them.
Threatening to rape you is an intent of a crime. Did you go to the police? You file a police report? You hire an attorney? You sue the school? Did you go to the civil rights office? Do you file a civil rights complaint? Did you do any of that? Because you should.
Okay.
No, did you? Tell me. Yes or no?
I did not. But
Why?
I'm not going to argue with you.
No, but you're coming in front of 2,000 people to say it. Why did you not go to the university and say this happened?
Next instance, they threatened to rape me and then just drove off.
Hold on. So a bunch of Trump guys who are largely white heterosexual males then also threatened to rape you?
Different group of people, but yes.
I'm going to show you the university official, and why don't you go file a Department of Education complaint, and let's find these terrible people that did this to you. Can we agree?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll think about
and by
that.
the way, we'll be able to look at security camera footage, and we'll see.
Okay, I'll think about that.
But you didn't do that.
Can I try
though.
to finish?
You'll think about it. Hold on. Why wouldn't you want to do that immediately? No, honestly, I think you're Jussie Smollet at this campus. I think you're completely making this whole thing up. I think you are a complete liar. Because I am now giving you an opportunity to report this at the high. I will bring this to Linda McMahon, the head of the Department of Education, the federal government. I will make sure these people are arrested by Kash Patel, the head of the FBI. And you'll say, oh, I'll think about it. Because you're making this up. You're doing this for a political purpose. So will you, no, seriously, Kash Patel will get involved. Yes? It's a hate crime. That's not acceptable. Will you do this or not?
That's really cute, Charlie, but I'm trying to give you the opportunity to alleviate hate within this group of people who have a shared ideology.
But hold on a second. There's no hate. There's just love of America here in this audience. That's all that's here today, okay? That's all that's here.
So, I mean, do you believe him, Shelley?
It 100% did not happen.
That's right.
It did not happen at all. He made it up out of whole cloth. He said 5 times in one night, and 3 of the incidents were by MAGA or whoever, MAGA wearing people. So that means the other 2 were whom? It did not happen. It didn't happen one time. Not that night. It never happened in his life. No, he's lying. This is another one of these hoaxes. You know, he's going to get his attention or whatever the case may be, but it did not happen. And not only that, the actual victims of sexual assault, rape on college campuses, many women in particular, you should be upset with him. But you know why they won't be? Because he's gay and he's black. Or he's whatever he's supposed to be trans. So they can't touch that. But we can. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You are a black man. You think you're a woman, or your nails look better than mine, but you are lying.
Yeah. Yeah, Tyrone, I want to get you in on this. Before I do, I want to acknowledge our super chatters, folks. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate you. All right. We have Rico says, well, damn, Shelley, get it off your chest, Queen Patty. All right. Sugar Shane with the $5 super chat says, liberal Dem are most racist I've seen. Sad as they claim they love all people. Right on, Sugar. All right. Taurus Prince with the $5 super chat says, Minnesota making a bill to say TDS is mental illness. It needs to be all 50 states because these people are insane. Wow, that's interesting. Kung Fu CJ with the $5 super chat says, dang, Tyrone, you messed up my super chat. Oh. All right. Yeah, thank you all so much. So do you believe him, Tyrone? Do you believe this happened to that college student?
See, this is what happens when we didn't follow up on Jussie Smollett's MAGA country people. We let them run loose. And look where they showed up again to persecute this kid, right? But seriously, no, he's lying. All right. And he's smart enough to know that he doesn't want to wind up in Jussie Smollett's position of being convicted. Okay, because whoever this is, he doesn't have the resources that Smollett had, right? So you're not going to get the slap on the wrist that he got. Right. And he knows that. So yeah, he's lying. He should feel absolutely ashamed. And I think the school should call him in and ask him some questions about making false accusations like that and say, hey, look, either you're going to pursue this, you know, like Charlie Kirk said, we can call Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, the United States of America, get her involved, or we're going to have to suspend you, man, because you're a troublemaker.
Yeah, definitely. And while he sits over there lying about stuff like this, we have a mother in Deerfield, Illinois. She has recently revealed that school officials forced young girls to change into their gym clothes in front of a trans-identified male student. And she is pleading with this school board to change this and not allow this to happen. This is something that is real, and I want you guys to take a look. This is clip 6.
To demand that the locker rooms and bathrooms at District 109 be designated as biological male and biological female, as there already is a gender-neutral option. The girls want their locker rooms and bathrooms back. They want their privacy back. This is why I'm here tonight. My 13-year-old daughter's well-being and mental health and privacy is at stake. This nightmare began on February 5th when my daughter was using the girls' bathroom and was stunned that a biological male student was using it as well. She came home frightened and was extremely upset. I asked her to talk with her teachers and find out more information. She was told by the administration that a student can use the bathroom as well as a female locker room because they now identify as female. I was sent an email to the teachers involved and received a call from Principal Wegley. He verbally reiterated that under Joanna Ford's direction and their legal counsel that the student could use both the locker room and bathroom. I expressed that the school was in clear violation of federal policy. The Trump administration issued an executive order restricting biological males from participating in sports and accessing female locker rooms. That day, I filed a civil rights complaint on behalf of my daughter with the Department of Justice. It has now been referred to the Department of Education. A federal complaint has been filed with the district to protect the students. The situation went from bad to worse. A few days later, the male student was present in the girls' locker room. Feeling violated, the girls made the choice to not change into their PE clothes with a biological male student present. The next day, Assistant Principal Kathy Van Treese pulled the girls into their office, questioning them. The same day, Assistant Superintendent Joanna Ford, Kathy Van Treese, and multiple teachers all came into the girls' locker room, making them change into uniform. This went on all week with the addition of Ginger Laugerman. My daughter refused to take part in having her privacy being violated. How dare they? She ran out and called for me for help. Principal Wegley was offering my daughter a new PE class. The answer was no. She is not changing for the remainder of the year, and she is not changing into another class. The girls just want their privacy, and they want their locker room back. There are gender-neutral options. This is my daughter's story and the story of many other young girls who have been forced at the difficult age to do something they know and most adults know is wrong. Do the right thing, Deerfield, and give these girls their locker room and bathrooms back.
Wow. I mean, this is sick. And did you guys notice the nuts behind her with the mask on? Now, this is recent. This just happened. So it wasn't like it was during COVID. But you have these masked, nutty trans activists who are in the background, making gestures, doing gestures and things like that. This is really sick. And how is this allowed to happen after President Trump's order? Shelley, what do you think of this?
It's because of their religion. And that's just it. They are beholden to their religion. And if it was so easy, if you will, for the principal to tell these girls they could go to another class, then why couldn't you make that same easy solution to put this dick in the right bathroom or the right locker room? I don't get it. And another thing, I'm like this mother. I'm even more furious because, number one, all of these teachers and principals, they stormed into the locker room and forced these children. I just wonder what they did to force them. I hope, I'm not blaming the girls, don't get me wrong, but I hope and wish that more of them said no and ran out to call their parents. I don't know how many did, but apparently this one student did. But what do you mean you come into the locker room to force students to change? I mean, on a given given day, even if everything was normal, if a student didn't change his or her clothes, what do the teachers do? You call the parents. You report them and send them to the office. How the hell you gonna come and force somebody to change their clothes? I don't understand. I don't understand it. All I know is that this is their religion, and more parents.
Yeah. Tyrone, I want to get you in on this. Now, this is the trans person's response. This is clip 8. Take a look. Oh, do we have that clip? All right. We may not have.
I'm happy to go after that one. Thank you, school board. From what I've heard, y'all are following the law, which is fantastic. My name is Charlie Friedman. My pronouns are they, he. I am a trans person. I am the parent of a trans middle schooler. I am also the director of operations for Trans Up Front. It's a nonprofit organization fighting for trans rights. We partner with over 30 major organizations, including the ACLU, Lambda Legal, HRC, etc. We have a protest coming up for trans rights on March 30th, 1 p.m., Federal Plaza. We have and I would like to take a moment to talk about Illinois. We're all very lucky to live in a state that protects everyone here. Specific to today, Executive Order 2019-11, which my kid was standing next to Pritzker when he signed. Yes, an executive order from the governor. And in that order, it's called Strengthening Our Commitment to Affirming and Inclusive Schools.
This nutty thing. Tyrone, what's your response to this insanity?
And that's what it is, because it is it actually goes a little bit beyond insanity, simply because there is this requirement by people like the person who just spoke that the rest of us buy into a delusion. And I think what these parents need to do, now's the time. You gotta fight back with legal action. You gotta bring it to them. Bring it to the school and start to sue these principals and teachers personally. And you know what? The reality of it is, might not go anywhere. But again, you got to start hitting people in the pocketbooks. Mm-hmm. And teachers aren't making millions of dollars. So you slap them with a personal lawsuit and, burn up some of their cash, burn up some of their time, and it'll get around. Start to teach some lessons that you should exercise judgment before acting on your ideology. Because I can guarantee you, whoever ordered these girls to disrobe, they were acting out of an ideology. Oh, I'll show you. Okay, so now we'll show you. We're going to break your 401k, or in their case, 403b. And, you'll work until your dying day. I mean, that's really, let's fight fire with fire. Okay, let's get nasty about it. And then at some point, you'll have this realization that, okay, look, live and let live. Let this person believe whatever they want to about themselves, but we're not going to obligate the rest of society to buy into that.
Yeah. What is your response to this transanity? That's what I'm calling it, trans insanity.
It is. Again, I say ultimately it's a religion, and they are, I guess, acting out the precepts of whatever this twisted religion is. But we do have to fight back, and hitting people in the pockets, taking it to the school board. We do have to fight back. Again, children are going to grow up, but they still have to grow up with a sense of values, respect, and even learning how to fight back. And sometimes, unfortunately, you have to fight back the adults that are supposed to be protecting you and teaching you. I mean, when we grew up, thankfully, we didn't have this problem. The teachers were the adults in the classroom and the principals, and, you were scared of them, a healthy fear, if you will, right? But unfortunately, today, young people, students need to be taught, you know what? In certain instances, you have to say no. And if you get suspended, if you get expelled, written up, so be it. We have to do that. And again, there's a context to it. not just outright disrespect and ruining the school day, but there are times when we need to teach our children to do so.
Absolutely.
And let me say, I've said this on the show before. Never get it twisted. Yeah, your kids are in that school, but these are government schools. There is no other aspect of government, not motor vehicle, not the military, where they're going to let you, the citizen, come in and decide how it's run. Okay. And just because your kid is there doesn't change that. So as a parent, if you see this system going south, you got some choices to make, okay, to get them out of an environment where they spend more waking hours under liberal indoctrination than they do with you and the values that you want to bring them up under. So people've got to make some decisions. And I'm telling you right now, going in, protesting, reading excerpts out of explicit library books, that ain't going to cut it, okay? You got to come out from among them.
Yep, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right, Tyrone. Folks, that's Tyrone. You can find him right here on YouTube at Soldiers of Finance, that YouTube channel. So we will definitely link that in the comments. That does it for us tonight, folks. We will be back on this Wednesday night at 8 p.m. So hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. Also tomorrow, this is a Metro Conservative Media platform. We are all on the Metro Conservative Media platform. And so tomorrow we have the All-American podcast. I'm sorry, the All-American show. So All-American Talk, you can find them in that YouTube channel. The All-American Talk show is going to be here tomorrow at 6:30. That YouTube channel is at All-American Talk. Then Thursday, you can find me at KJ Christian Conservative. That's me. I'll be on that YouTube channel. That is at KJ Christian Conservative. And then, of course, Saturday, Just the Guys podcast will be on Saturday at 6:30. You can find them on their YouTube channel at Just the Guys podcast. All of these channels are conservative, and it gives you a different feel for depending on what you're looking for. It provides different feel for each channel. So certainly check us all out. That does it for us tonight, folks. Common sense isn't dead. It's just been silenced, but not here on this channel. Poppin' Politics, we call out the lies, we challenge the nonsense, and we speak truth without apology. If you're tired of the woke circus, the media spin, and political gaslighting, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe. We're just getting started, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. We will see you on Wednesday night. Count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.